Have you ever watched a man miraculously escape a burning building, only to turn around and willingly walk right back into the roaring flames? That is exactly the horrifying spectacle we are currently witnessing with Grayson Perez. In the dangerous, high-stakes world of Fairmont Crest, a clean slate is a rare and fragile commodity. Grayson was handed the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card, and it seems he is about to set it on fire. Let's take a step back and look at the massive, sprawling role Grayson played in the illegal plasma ring campaign. This wasn't just a minor indiscretion. His involvement was the very linchpin of the entire underground operation. He went from being a desperate lab technician stealing plasma to the crucial whistleblower who brought the whole house of cards crashing down. He was the key to exposing Dr. Leah Whitmore and her shady associate, Wren. We have to give massive credit where credit is due. Jacob Hawthorne is the only reason Grayson is not currently sitting in a cold jail cell. It was Jacob's relentless, high-stakes persuasion that finally broke through Grayson's walls. Jacob convinced him to hand over the definitive evidence needed to break the ring. Because of Jacob's intervention, Grayson secured full immunity from prosecution. Jacob even went out of his way to protect Grayson's reputation, keeping his name out of the immediate public fallout so he could rebuild his life. But here is the infuriating part. Grayson is still fumbling the bag. Despite being handed a golden ticket, he is drowning in professional and personal misery. Why? Because the very lab he works in has been shut down and turned into a massive crime scene for the ongoing police investigation. Grayson is out of work, out of luck, and rapidly running out of time. If he had only listened to Jacob sooner, perhaps the collateral damage wouldn't have been so devastating. But in Fairmont Crest, timing is everything, and Grayson's timing is tragically flawed. Now, we cannot discuss Grayson's current downward spiral without addressing the massive, heroic elephant in the room, Derek Baldwin. Derek's tragic death has completely shattered the emotional landscape of the town. Ashley Morgan is drowning in grief, and who can blame her? Derek died a true hero, saving a trained officer, and his loss has left a massive void that Grayson simply cannot fill. The sheer anger radiating from Derek's father, Brian Baldwin, who recently refused to even shake Jacob's hand, proves just how volatile this situation is. Grayson recently confided in Jacob about how incredibly awkward and tense it would be for him and Ashley to continue working in the same lab environment. But let's be brutally honest here, the lab is just a convenient excuse. The real issue is the ghost of Derek Baldwin standing right between them. Ashley is pulling away. She is alienating Grayson, entirely consumed by her mourning and the painful process of organizing Derek's private memorial with Shanice Johnson. We saw Jan Morgan recently spot Grayson at the store. Jan, being the supportive friend she is, tried to encourage Grayson not to let Ashley push him away completely. Grayson claimed he was just giving her space. But is it really just space, or is it the crushing weight of a guilty conscience? Grayson is feeling the icy sting of Ashley's distance, and in his absolute vulnerability, he is making himself the perfect target for a predator. Enter Leslie Thomas. If there's one absolute truth in Beyond the Gates, it is this. Leslie Thomas does not do favors. Every single smile, every single offer of help is a calculated transaction designed to benefit her and her alone. We recently watched Leslie completely melt down over the plasma ring drama. She crashed the Garland Memorial press conference, faking tears over Derek's death, desperately trying to protect the reputation of the free clinic she funds. And then the universe handed Leslie the perfect pawn. Let's break down that incredibly tense scene where Leslie accidentally overhears Grayson's frantic phone call with a debt collector. Grayson is cornered. His mother is severely ill. The medical bills are piling up, and his source of income has been completely frozen by the police investigation. You can practically smell the desperation radiating off him through the screen. Leslie slithers out of the shadows with a sickeningly sweet display of fake empathy. She tells Grayson she understands. She tells him she once had a sick mother and faced crushing financial ruin herself. And then she drops the bait and offer to speak with Eva and get Grayson a job at her heavily funded clinic. On the surface, it looks like a lifeline, but we all know it is a noose. Let's use our brains and analyze the logic here. Why would Leslie, a woman fiercely protective of her image and currently panicking about police scrutiny, hire a lab tech whose current workplace is the center of a massive criminal investigation? The answer is chillingly simple. She needs an insider. She needs a scapegoat. The free clinic she funds is directly tied to the stolen plasma that fueled Leah and Ren's illegal operation. Leslie is terrified that the investigation will trace the stolen plasma back to her doorstep. By hiring Grayson, she isn't giving him a job. She is hiring a cleaner. I strongly believe Leslie is going to force Grayson to destroy the remaining medical records and cover up the clinic's involvement in the plasma leak. She knows he has the technical skills, and more importantly, she knows he has the sheer desperation required to cross the line. But what happens when Grayson realizes the horrifying truth? What happens when he connects the dots and discovers that the very clinic he is now working for is the root cause of the underground operation that ultimately led to Derek's death? The psychological torment here is going to be absolutely off the charts. Grayson will realize he has walked right back into the very criminal underworld Jacob just pulled him out of. When Grayson inevitably tries to back out, Leslie will drop the empathetic act in a heartbeat. She will weaponize his secrets against him. She knows about his crippling debt. I guarantee you she will threaten to report him to the police, or worse, expose his initial involvement in the plasma theft to the public, completely destroying the fragile immunity Jacob fought so hard to get him. Grayson will be trapped in a nightmare of his own making. He will be forced to choose between his sick mother's survival and his own moral compass. And this brings us to the most devastating consequence of all, Ashley Morgan. Derek Baldwin spent his final days warning Ashley about Grayson. He told her there were massive red flags surrounding this guy. Ashley defended Grayson. She believed in him. She wanted to see the good in him. If Grayson accepts Leslie's job and covers up the clinic's involvement, he is actively protecting the very entity responsible for Derek's murder. Let that sink in for a moment. He will be aiding and abetting the enemy when, not if, but when Ashley finds out that Grayson has been lying to her, covering for Leslie's corrupt clinic, and betraying Derek's memory. Their relationship will be completely, permanently destroyed. There will be no coming back from this. It won't just be a simple breakup. It will be an unforgivable moral betrayal. Grayson is proving Derek right from beyond the grave, and the tragedy is that he is doing it to himself. He survived the fall the first time, but he will not survive this. Grayson Perez is standing on the edge of a massive cliff, perfectly positioned for Leslie Thomas to push him over. Will he realize the trap before it snaps shut, or is he destined to lose his immunity, his career, and the woman he loves all in one fatal swoop? What do you guys think about this toxic dynamic? Let us know your theories, because this is one impending disaster we simply cannot look away from.